What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Grimmett from Forge Physio. Today we're going over the kettlebell or dumbbell deadlift. So we like to start with this as either an introduction to like a sumo style deadlift or introducing someone into a deadlift progression because it takes a lot of load off the low back, because we can put the weight between our hips and directly under our body so it's not away from us. Again, that's going to make it a little bit easier on my low back. So my setup position that I like to coach is I want your toes to go past the weight. So I have a dumbbell here flipped up on its end, and with my toes past the weight, if I'm standing vertically, that dumbbell is directly under my hips. And then we want to be able to go into a hinge pattern. We do not want to squat our deadlift, right? So to me, that hinge position means I'm moving through my hips a little bit more than I'm squatting into my knees. And then when I come down to that bottom position, my elbows are going to be inside my knees. And then what really matters is being able to breathe and brace without arching your low back. So the common compensation pattern that we see is individuals squeezing their shoulder blades together, really arching their low back, all their weight on their heels. And when they come down to this bottom position, when they go to stand up, their hips shoot back, and then they end up just doing a back extension when they stand up. So I want you to get used to being able to keep your hips kind of tucked under you and engage so that your glutes have a little bit of tension on them. And then obviously you want a little bit more weight into the heel, but not so much that I'm sitting back onto my heel. So I like the cue of putting the weight directly under my ankle joints to where I'm pushing my foot into the ground with my feet relatively relaxed. I'm just trying to build pressure through the floor. And then when I come to this bottom position, my knees are not past my toe. If my knees are going to go past my toe, typically that's going to look more like a squat. So my knees are going to be back. And then I'm going to grab that weight. I'm going to take a big deep breath, fill my belly full of air. Now I'm pushing out into my abdomen and creating tension while I'm able to talk to you guys. If you can't create that pressure and talk at the same time, probably have a little bit of disconnect with the tension being set up. And then again, I'm pulling that weight, driving my feet to the floor, standing up, and I'm squeezing my butt. And then I just reverse that back to that bottom position. Start all over, big deep breath. Fill my belly full of air, kind of pull my shoulders down toward my hip pockets to tension my lats, drive my foot through the floor, stand up. I know that may seem very technical and there's a lot of moving parts, but as you get used to feeling the right movement to where you're not overloading your low back, it will become more and more and more subconscious. This is not something that you should feel a ton of in your low back. You want to be able to feel it in your hips. The last piece, when you stand up, you'll be able to see from the side angle here, is that when you're in that top position, I don't want you to overextend your back. I want you to finish with your glutes and squeeze your butt and stand nice and tall. So dumbbell works great. You can also use it with a kettlebell. It's the exact same setup and it looks exactly the same.